Okay, welcome everyone. April Cox here. We are getting started today with this Marketing Monday session with a special guest speaker that I have been following for a long time. He is not only an excellent author, but he's also a very good friend of mine, and we have helped one another through our own author journeys. So today we're here with Josh Becker, an author. One thing that really strikes me about Josh and his story is the way that he utilizes Kickstarter for marketing and funding his books. And he has got it down to an art form. I have followed all of his Kickstarters. I love his books, and I think you'll appreciate and enjoy tips and tricks and learning all about what he's doing to help launch his books through Kickstarter. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Josh forward. Welcome, Josh. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your journey with other authors who are looking to do the same.
Thank you so much for having me, April. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm going to share your author picture here. This is such an awesome image of you, and it really tells who you are. You are really focused around science. And after becoming a father, JR was inspired to found the Annabelle and Aiden children's book series, dedicated to inspiring a new generation of scientists, thinkers, and all-around adventurers. His first book on evolution was banned by Christian World News, went on to become a #1 bestseller on Amazon since it launched in late 2016. This 7-book series has won various awards, raised over $100,000 on Kickstarter, and has sold over 35,000 copies. That is just an incredible accomplishment. So tell us a little bit about how you got started with Kickstarter and what makes that a good choice for continuing to launch your books.
Thank you. I need to update that because now we have 9 titles, not 7, and this is 10th title is coming out. So we actually have 10 now and sold over 50,000 books instead of 35,000. So I have to update that, which I'm happy about. Thanks, Lori, for the applause. But I attribute my success more probably to Kickstarter than anything. I love Kickstarter. My story for the first book I ever did, which was probably 8 or 9 years ago now, I did a Kickstarter and it raised $4,400, which I was very proud of at the time. I didn't think I would raise more than 100. I did what I could on Facebook and I really tried to promote, and I raised $4,400. A year later, I did a second Kickstarter on a second book and raised $8,000. A year after that, I did a third Kickstarter on a third book and I raised about $12,000. And then the fourth one actually broke 20 grand. It did $24,000 on a book called What Happens When We Die. And I never thought I would raise more than that. The next one, the fifth one, did not as well. The sixth one did around where the fifth did. It cut down a little. And then 3 years ago, I wrote another book called Oh My Gods. I think it's number 8, and it raised $38,000 on Kickstarter in 20 days. So I was.
That's incredible.
Thank you. Yes, it was $10,000 in the first 24 hours, and then it just, so each Kickstarter builds on the ones after it. I'm in the middle of one now. It'll probably raise around $15,000 to $16,000, which I'm very proud of, but it depends on the book, it depends on the month, it depends on a few things. But each Kickstarter builds on the one before it, because you're not just looking for people to buy who want to buy your book. You're really looking for people that fit 2 criteria. One, that want to buy your book and trust the Kickstarter platform, right? Most of us buy from Amazon every day. We trust the platform. Some website that you find weird because you never heard of it, you're like, is this a scam? How does it work? I'm not familiar with it. So each Kickstarter I privately message all the backers from my previous Kickstarter campaigns through the Kickstarter messaging system. And these are people who already have an account, who are logged into their account. They trust the platform. They've pledged before. It really builds community. Kickstarter is the only real way to have people purchase the right to have their name in the book, even their picture of their face in the book to be able to purchase exclusive rewards, have the book dedicated to them or someone they love. So these are very unique rewards that you can't really offer anywhere else.
And that's the beauty of Kickstarter, is that we get to create something really special. And I know that I've interviewed you on a number of topics, and one of them was having to do with trademarks, because you are a trademark attorney and you have done Q&A and all that. And then you said you put a consulting service in there to help consult on trademarks, right?
Yes, that's one of the rewards right now in the one that's going on at the link in the chat. If people could purchase a 1-hour consulting session with me, which often leads to me extending it a little longer to help someone file a trademark application.
I know when I filed my self-publishing Made Simple, I leaned on your expertise a lot. I took what you gave us in the interview and was able to reach out to you, and that worked out really well. I'm just waiting on uploading a couple of proof documents, and then my trademark will be all done. So I am so happy for that. And if anybody here is considering doing a trademark or just learning about it, I would highly recommend supporting this Kickstarter. That is a fantastic option where you can get some help from somebody who's in the trenches and knows exactly how to move past some of the challenges that you'll find in trying to do it yourself. So why don't I just jump into your campaign, and we can use it as an example to walk through some best practices and give people a little taste of what they can expect with Kickstarter. So this should come up here with your link. Okay. So tell us a little bit about how important is this whole video? Is that one of the keys to a good Kickstarter campaign?
I think it's the most important thing. I've had authors who also do Kickstarters who disagree with me. A lot of them don't even post any video, or they post it as an afterthought. Personally, when I'm on Google News or ABC News and there's a news story and there's an article and I could either read 5 paragraphs or watch a 2-minute video, I want to see the video. I want to see the politician's face or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm just drawn to video. I might be wrong about that, but a video is not required by Kickstarter. I think it's very important. I put a lot of work into it. If you have an Apple computer, it comes with a program called iMovie that you should use to do the video editing. If you have a PC that could download certain programs, video should never be longer than 2 to 3 minutes. You have to be in the video. If you're creating a Kickstarter, don't just have a video of a picture of the goods that you're selling, but people want to see the human being behind the product. So no matter how shy you are, after 10 seconds minimum, just introduce yourself in the video and say a little bit about your book and then explain what Kickstarter is and how it works. Some people might not know.
I like that. This looks like a very high quality book. Besides introducing yourself, having something that looks truly professional and makes a big difference. You're letting people know that you're creating high quality work, and then that's what they're supporting. When you're laying out or planning what you're going to say in your video, tell me some of the points that you want to always cover when you're recording.
Like I said, you want to introduce yourself and who you are. You want to say a little bit about the book, and then you want to explain what Kickstarter is. I tend to stay away from words like donate or charity. It's not a charity. I try to use the words, I'm letting people know that I'm giving them, they're not helping me. I'm giving them the opportunity to pre-order the book and exclusive rewards, which
they won't be able to get when it launches on Amazon, right?
So I would never use the word donate. They're not donating, they're pre-ordering the book. They're getting a reward. So I would not use the word donate. I did hear recently that Kickstarter does not like when you use the word pre-order. This is my 10th Kickstarter and I use it here and I've never had an issue. So that's what I like to do.
I had a lot of people tell me that when I mentioned Kickstarter, if they're struggling with getting the word out or they're raising money, and they seem to indicate that, oh, I don't like the kind of GoFundMe kind of things. This is not at all a GoFundMe kind of thing. How would you recommend introducing when you say tell what Kickstarter is? Can you talk about that? What do you say Kickstarter is?
This is my 10th Kickstarter. So I basically say a little bit about the book, and then I just say all of this costs money. I have to pay for printing and postage and the illustrator and file editing. And that's why I'm giving you the opportunity to pre-order the book right here, right now for a limited time. It comes with a sticker. Each book is personally signed by the author. You could get your name in the book. You could even get a picture of your face in the book. You could dedicate the book to anyone, and that makes a great gift. Please check out the rewards on the right side of the screen. And I thank you so much for your support so we could together bring this book into existence.
I think that these gorgeous illustrations and things that are down in the description here really show the high quality of what you're creating, which is absolutely gorgeous. And so here we are talking about some of the rewards. And a lot of people hem and haw over what they should offer. I know that I've got a couple of authors here with me, and they're starting to set up their rewards and things and struggle a lot with that. What kind of tips do you have with how to set up or how to indicate what is going to be available to people and the prices that you're starting at?
There's a lot of different opinions about that. If it was my first Kickstarter ever, you have to understand that every single person that pledges even $1, you get their email address. They're basically paying you to put you on their email list. If it's your first Kickstarter ever, to me, the goal should not be to sell as many books as you can or to raise as much money as you can. The goal should be to get as many backers as you can so that when you do a second and third Kickstarter, you could message them. You want to build your list. You want to build your community. So the first reward, I would make $1 if it was my first Kickstarter, maybe $2. And that doesn't cost you anything. You're just going to email them an ebook. Studies show that the most common dollar amount that pledged on Kickstarter is $25. So it's good to keep that in mind. I made my hardcover book $19, you could see. But you could make it like $22, $23. Some people make it $25. I think that's crazy because that's just a lot of money to pay for a book, but a lot of people do it. Don't forget that you're going to also charge shipping though. So what I do is I like to charge 19 because psychologically 19 sounds a lot less than 20 or 21 or 22. And then I charge $3 or $4 for shipping. So I'm still getting $23 or $24 per book. That's what I do. If you're first Kickstarter, you should probably do the same. But I think a lot of people would disagree and charge a little more. For $45, they get 2 books and they get their name in the acknowledgments section, which costs me nothing. That people feel excited about being part of the book. I like to allow people to put their face in the book. They could, and I make that limited amount. So I think there's like 30 or 40 of those rewards.
Okay.
Kickstarter allows you to limit the amount of any reward if you want to. My illustrator doesn't have to be up all night putting 100 faces in the illustration.
Right.
And then the whole book series at 110, so that's 10 books for $110. Just a few rewards to sell a bunch of books in bulk.
Right.
You're not going to get too many pledges on that, but you might get a few.
I love that. Most of the time frame, I know you said one of them was only like 20 days. What's the magic number for you as far as the length of time that you run your campaigns?
Kickstarter studies overwhelmingly show that even though it's counterintuitive, shorter campaigns do better. Kickstarter says you should never ever do it longer than 30 days. I think in the past I might have done 32 or 35 because your intuition thinks, why not give people more time? The more time they have, the more time you have for pledges to come in. The reason against that is there's no sense of urgency for people. You create a sense of urgency, or you make something exclusive. If you think of like diamonds in the world, right? Supply and demand. When Google came out with Gmail, I remember you could only join Gmail by invitation, right? And something is exclusive in time or quantity, people want it. To me, that the Goldilocks would be somewhere around 23 to 25 days or so, maybe 26 or 27.
Remember doing Kickstarters for 30 days, or the first week, it seems like people do a lot. And then at the last week, when it's like almost done, like, hurry up. And then in the middle, it's just like this big lag. And
Yeah.
it is so stressful. And I went through, they're like, oh, what more can I do? And how many times can you post? Support my Kickstarter. And even though having just such a small amount of time can be challenging for the psyche, it doesn't seem like that should be the approach. But so when you say lower amount of time, what have you decided to do for this campaign? How many days did it run?
Oh, it's still running now.
Yeah, it's running now.
It's about 3 weeks, but
Okay.
typed in a date that it should end, but I didn't type in how many days it should be. You always want to start on a Tuesday. That's just studies show Tuesdays are the best. Tuesdays around lunchtime. That's just what the data shows.
Okay.
Before you do a Kickstarter, you want to type into Google, what is the best month to start? What is the best week and what day to start? What time to start? Depending on what time zone you're in. If you're on the East Coast, you probably want to do around lunch because that's when people on the West Coast are waking up. If you did in the morning, the whole West Coast is sleeping. So don't do that. You want to stay away from holidays. Most important thing is the month that you start.
So which have been the time that you typically run campaigns, or which months do you stay away from? Maybe.
So you definitely don't want any major holidays, Christmas, New Year's, anything like that. The data says that March, April, and May are two of the best months. I think there might be a month or two in the summer that's really great as well. I just have to look up the articles.
I would highly recommend for those of you that are here and you're interested in learning more about Kickstarter, if you don't have a Kickstarter account, go and create an account and go click on this link and support Josh in this. Number one, what you're going to find is a high quality, amazing book. Whether you keep it for yourself or gift it to someone else for Christmas, it is going to be something that's truly magical. It also is going to help you understand how Kickstarter campaigns work, because you're going to see the messages that come. You're going to see how things work as far as filling the orders, how Josh keeps track of all of this and keeps you in the loop. It's almost like a master class in Kickstarter, just participating and supporting others. The other thing that's really important from my perspective too is when I look for Kickstarters to support, it also shows how many Kickstarters that individual has supported, the one that's running the campaign. That matters to me, because if this person is somebody who supports Kickstarter campaigns, then that kind of person I want to support, right? Because it is something that is constantly changing, and creators that use Kickstarter, typically they're much better when they are also supporting other creators on Kickstarter. So it's important for you to support others, and that goes a long way for your success as well. Would you agree with that, Josh?
Absolutely. I am in a few author Facebook groups, and part of my success is also part of the other people's success. I have 5 or 6 or 7 books by other authors in my kids' room upstairs. Half of them are from Kickstarters. So that's absolutely true. Let's say you pledge to my Kickstarter and then you someone else's Kickstarter. In a few months or a year, when you do your own Kickstarter, I'm pretty sure that I get an automated message saying, this pledger of yours just launched their own Kickstarter. Even if they don't, if you have an account through Kickstarter and you pledge to me, Kickstarter will ask if I want to follow you or you could follow me. It's just getting involved with Kickstarter. But I like what you said, April. Of course, I'm biased, but if it's absolutely true that if you give to my Kickstarter, you'll get access to my updates. And you might be wondering, what's a Kickstarter update? You will see. You will get the updates. You'll see how it works. You'll see how long it takes me to send you your Kickstarter awards. You'll see what a Kickstarter survey is, which is basically how I get your shipping information through Kickstarter to learn your way around the site. So that's definitely a really great thing to do.
What are some of the common mistakes, Josh, that you made early on that you worked through that might be helpful to highlight for other authors?
I didn't know what cross promotion was, and a lot of people don't know what that is. I think it's the second most important way to promote your Kickstarter besides Facebook posts and Facebook groups. Cross promotion is while your Kickstarter is going on, you go through Kickstarter and you find other campaigns that are going on right now that have an audience that might overlap with your audience. So it might be a children's book on science. For you, it might be a children's book on parenting, or it's children's toys, children's STEM activity books, anything for kids. And it's not just Kickstarter campaigns that are going on now, but even ones that ended weeks ago or months ago or even years ago, those Kickstarter people could still message their backers. Here's what cross promotion is. You write to the creator of that other campaign and you say to, hello, I love your campaign. It looks great. I would love to tell all of my backers about your campaign in my next Kickstarter update if you would do the same for me. Do you want to cross promote like that? And probably 25% of the time, they'll write back yes, which is not a bad percentage. You send out what's called a Kickstarter update, which is a message updating all your backers as to what's going on. At the end, you have a header that says, check out these other projects by our friends. And you have links to the other projects, and you could send people to other people's projects, and they do the same to you. If I explained that well enough.
I think that's great. And I always love to check out campaigns like yours that do really well. If I'm looking to build my own campaign, I want to look for positive campaigns that have raised enough and that really look good, because I'm learning a lot from it. And so besides that, just supporting you. And that's why I was willing to have you come in today, because I think that your experience is so valuable to my authors and others that might see this video on YouTube looking for tips. This is your 10th campaign. You've got a huge amount of experience here. And I'd like to open it up for others who have questions or are struggling with Kickstarter. If you want to take yourself off mute or just a question in the chat, we're happy to take questions and kind of go through things as well. Go ahead, Pat.
Thank you. It's very kind of you to give up your time. I have several questions. I have never done a Kickstarter, toyed with it. My first question is about shipping. Who do you use to ship? Because obviously you've got a lot of books you're shipping. Who do you use to ship? And do you add a shipping charge to the price of your reward?
I do all the shipping myself. I have hired agencies to do it in the past. I just got great at, I don't know if you all heard of Pirate Shipping, but that is a website that it's just so easy to use, and you could print out all your shipping labels. I don't know, I think it's pirateshipping.com.
Yeah, I think it's Pirate Ship. They have really competitive rates, which is great. It beats all of the rates from the US Postal Service for me anyway.
So every reward that you create on Kickstarter, Kickstarter asks you how much you want to charge for shipping by country. So you just put in what you want to charge per shipping. And you could even go on pirateship.com, and if you know how much your book is going to weigh, for children's books, we're all like 28 to 32 pages. I could tell you right now, it's going to cost $3 to ship it around America and then Canada for one book. I just know this stuff off the top of my head, but you could find it on the website. I do it all myself. Matters how many backers you get, but I do it for 5 hours a day for 3 days or for 10 days, or sometimes my kids help me and I buy all the bubble mailers from Amazon, get the labels, I print them out and do it all in my basement and put it in boxes and drop it at the post office. I used to go to the post office and ask them to weigh each one. I made big mistakes. I didn't know how to do it, but Pirate Ship or Pirate Shipping what made it so easy. So I do it all myself.
Okay.
And all to do is drop them at the post office, and they don't need to measure it or.
Because you already did all that in your basement. You printed out the label and you put it on. You don't have to wait in line.
Okay.
I don't even go in the post office. I see the trucks outside and I say to them, I have 10 boxes. Do you want me to like bring it in the post office, but then you're going to have to bring it back out of the truck, or do you want me to just give it to you here on the truck docking station?
A few other questions, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead, Pat.
For someone who has never done this and who's not very technological, I'm an older writer, what are the minimum rewards that you would offer? And secondly, would you ever just do paperback as a reward and never consider hardcover?
No, I would do hardcover. Kids
Okay.
bend books and people want hardcovers and they're so much nicer and they cost 10 to 15% more to print than a paperback and they're twice as good. So I wouldn't even do paperbacks. I would just do hardcovers. Uh, your first question was, what is the minimum reward? Are you asking me the minimum amount of rewards?
Yes, or she'll start out with an ebook and then maybe a
So
hardcover book and an ebook.
you don't want to have less than four. So the first one could be $1 or $5, and that could just be the ebook. Don't just write ebook, write ebook and exclusive access to Kickstarter updates, which is true. Maybe a sticker, I don't know. So that's $1. And then you want to sell your book signed around the $20 mark. And then I would have two books for the price of one and a half or something like that. And then I have people that want to have a gift. I would do like 10 books. We definitely want to offer the ability for people to put their name in the book because you could charge $40 or $50 for that and it doesn't cost you a thing. So that's 3. And then I would do one where people could buy 10 books or 20 books if they want for their library or their school or something.
So
So
you must be using offset printing, I would imagine.
yeah, I used to not, but now I do. Yeah, I print in
Thank
China. It's the easiest thing in the world, and it's extremely easy and cheap.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the question. So Lori, I know that you're setting up your Kickstarter campaign. Anything that you have that you'd like to ask Josh while we've got him?
Yes. So what would you put down as the amount that you're trying, like your goal amount? That's
Yeah.
what
So there's 2 different schools of thought. The first school of thought, which I think I agree with now, is set an extremely low goal. If you ask the head of Kickstarter, what should my goal be? The answer that Kickstarter is going to give you is the minimum amount of money that you need to create your book. Some of us use Kickstarter, but we're not homeless. I have money that if I really needed to, I could pay for most of my book and I would have to save up a little bit, honestly, but it's not like I don't need the Kickstarter money because I do, but if you understand what I'm saying. Right? So your goal isn't only that. I think your goal could be strategically made. To answer your question, I think the goal should be very low, and I'm going to tell you why. Kickstarter's algorithm will see that you met the goal in the first day or the first week. The algorithm will say to, wow, this Kickstarter is doing really well. Let's promote it on our homepage or near our homepage because it's doing really well. On Kickstarter, if you meet the goal in the first day, you could even put wording in your Kickstarter image that says, funded in 1 day. A lot of projects do that because it's telling people like there's a demand for this. Grab it now. This is doing really well. Some authors disagree with that, but because they say if people see that you met your goal, then they're going to say to themselves, why do I need to pledge? They already met their goal. It's already happening. They don't need my help. And I hear that, but I think the value that the counter value that I just said, I think carries more weight. And just now I have a Kickstarter that's going on, the one that April showed you, and I think I set my goal too high. And that's why it's not doing as well as some of the others. Because the Kickstarter algorithm, I haven't met my goal yet. My goal is $16,000. And to be honest, I'm nervous about it and I don't know if I'm going to reach my goal. You're supposed to really reach 50 or 60% of your pledges in the first day or two. I just got halfway there and I'm on like 4 or day 5. It's going to be hard for me. And I think it's because I set my goal too high and the Kickstarter algorithm sees that I'm still far from my goal. So if the Kickstarter algorithm is saying, well, this one's not doing that well, let's put them in the back. Kickstarter wants to make money, so they're going to promote the projects that are doing well. One of the ways that Kickstarter measures if you're doing well is how quickly you reach your goal. And I'm not just got halfway there. If you set your goal at $2,000, you could reach that in a day or in 5 days, and then it'll grow. But if you set a goal at 16,000, we'll see. It also depends on how big your following is, Laurie. If it's first Kickstarter ever and you don't have such a big following yet, then I would set the goal really low, maybe $2,000 or $3,000.
Okay. And then to get that $3,000, like how many people would you
You need a
have to,
Facebook
like,
page. Do you have a Facebook page?
I do have a Facebook page and a website now
Is
that
your Facebook page called Laurie Steinberg Author or something like that? Because it
no,
shouldn't be.
no,
Yeah.
what should it
It,
be called?
it should be called what your books are about. Actually shouldn't even be about your books. It should be about the field and topic that your books are in. Your book should be incidental to it. If you're waiting in line at the grocery store and you're with kids and you're flipping through Facebook and you see a Facebook page called Tim Goldberg, author, are you going to join that group? No, you don't care who Tim Goldberg is. You don't know who that is, right? But if you see on a Facebook group called Stories About Parenting or books on how to run a Kickstarter, you're going to say, oh, that's a field that I'm interested in. So what are your books about, Lori? If they're about sharing, yeah, what are they about?
They're social emotional learning books.
Yes, so the name of your Facebook page should not be Laurie Steinberg author, unless you're wildly famous and you're a celebrity, which you might be, I don't know. But if you're not, then the name of your Facebook page should be something about children's books for social emotional learning. That's what it should be. And every day you should post not about your books, but about something that's going on in current events about social emotional learning, or a comic strip about it or something. And then every Friday, when it's lunchtime and people are happy and they're getting paid on Friday, which is payday, and they feel like they have some money and they're in a good mood, that's when you say a post that says, oh, by the way, I happen to have these books that I'm working on. What do you think? And then people will say, oh, send me the link. That looks so cool. And these are people that you attracted because they happen to be interested in social and emotional learning. They're not interested in buying a book from Laurie Steinberg because people don't exactly know who Laurie Steinberg is yet. You want to attract people that are passionate about your cause and your message, but that's what you want to do. When you run a Kickstarter, you should have built a Facebook page with at least a small following, maybe 50 people who like your Facebook page, which hopefully will be enough.
Do you think the website should be the same? Because we just put out the website and it's called, a pen name is LM Zaka. So
Fine. It's your domain name. You're not reaching out to people with your domain name. You're reaching out to strangers on Facebook. Your website isn't grabbing, your website doesn't have broadcast to the world. Facebook does, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
You're posting to strangers on Facebook. You're
okay,
not posting to strangers on your website.
right. People are coming to the website.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Your website is your house, it's your home, it's your
Right.
base, it's your
Right.
store. But your Facebook page are your salesmen who are running to other people's houses and telling them to come into your house.
Got it.
So your house is your website. I could have any domain name because it's not getting in people's faces. It's Facebook posts that are getting in people's faces.
I want to go back to the comments, Josh, that you made about lower goals. One of the things that I think that really helps with too is once you meet one goal, you can unlock stretch goals. And I love seeing that with some of the authors that have run successful campaigns. They're like, oh, and if we hit this much, we're going to unlock another stretch goal. And this time we're going to have plushies. And so everybody that has ordered at this tier or higher is going to get a plushie if we hit this amount. So it's exciting to see, oh, that's good. What are we unlocking next? Right? People follow along with that. And I think it's a brilliant approach. Do you use stretch goals or have you used that in the past, Josh?
Yeah, so I just posted in the chat my graphic for stretch goals. If you do a Kickstarter, you need to have someone do some basic graphics for you. You could do it in Canva. Canva.com is an easy website to use, but you're going to need these graphics. Yeah, I do stretch goals. They are great if you reach that point. I'm not at that point yet with this Kickstarter campaign, but people use them very effectively.
Any other questions for Josh? I probably have time for one or two more questions.
Do you ever talk about your new book, like another book that might be coming out after that book, like in the series, or make it one of the stretch goals, the next book, or no?
So I speak about the past books, but I don't speak about the future books. I don't know what the future books are going to be. I think it's okay to mention if you have future books coming out, but you don't want to dwell on it because you want to really get people excited about this book. You want to tell people the very existence of your book series is dependent to some extent on how much demand there is. We want people to feel like if they don't give to your Kickstarter, you're going to cease to exist. They really want to get excited and support you and be part of it. It sounds like Lori has all these books planned. She doesn't even need me. She seems to be so sure that this is going to be going on for the next 10 years. Why am I helping support her for this book if she already has next book? She really need my help. You could mention things that you want to do. It actually could be great because you could say, please help me with this book. If we get this going, then I would love to make a lot of other books I'm excited about, like this book and this book, but don't make it sound like you already have those books locked up and you're already doing them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
thank you.
When you mentioned about whether you need somebody or not, I just want to share my own personal experience. When I did my first Kickstarter campaign, I did not have a following. I had no idea what I was doing. It was for my first book. And I was watching all of these other Kickstarter campaigns doing so well, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll give it a try. But I did not do the stuff that needed to drive people to Kickstarter. If you don't have a following and you want to, one of the things that Kickstarter will also do for you is to try to vet, does this title have legs? Do you have potential with sales? Do you have enough of a following to make this book successful? And what I realized at the end of it was I didn't, because it didn't fund. I did my second Kickstarter. I did. It took me some time to realize I didn't build up the following. I didn't have an email list. I didn't have all of the foundational things that I needed to be successful. It allows you to regroup and continue to grow your audience. And then you can try to launch it again a short while later, or you can move forward yourself, but realize that, yeah, I need to work on things like my platform and my followers and be able to make a case to get people, to drive people to Kickstarter. Just because Kickstarter is there and there are other people that are part of that platform, it doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden going to discover your book and see the potential of it. You really do need to market. That was my own. I've seen a number of people be very successful, and I've seen others realize, okay, I've got to do a little bit of reworking my approach and do more marketing. Josh, would you say that Kickstarter is something that can help you with your marketing? Or would you say that you need to have marketing first before you launch a Kickstarter?
Both. I think you need a little bit of something. I wonder if people would disagree with me. I wonder if Kickstarter itself would disagree with me. But if you just launch a Kickstarter, I think someone needs a Facebook page with passionate followers, at least 30. Unless you're a celebrity or you're going on a huge podcast, you need a small following, even just 20 to 30 people. You need to be part of some Facebook groups where you never want to spam a Facebook group. You never want to post, hey, please check out my Kickstarter. Instead, what you want to do is you want to find an illustration and you post it in a social, emotional parenting Facebook group. And then you say to the people, I'm working on this children's book and I would love your advice if the mom looks like she should be wearing these shoes or that dress. Is she too short? Should I put her on the right of the illustration or on the left of the illustration? What do you think? And then people will go, oh, this is so cool. I think she looks great. By the way, what's your link? And then Laura, you'll be like, oh, well, now that you asked, since people are asking me, here's the link. And then people get very excited about it.
Making sure that you're building the following and letting people know about it in a way that's not going to be going against any terms of.
I like to put a podcast ad out in one or two podcasts that are in the field of the books. There's a lot of social emotional influencers. A lot of them have podcasts. You might want to put an ad in one or two of their podcasts. I just paid $250 for a 10-second ad at the beginning of a very popular science podcast. Maybe 80,000 people heard it, and maybe 5 of them gave and got $300 from it. I think you at least want a Facebook page with 30 to 40 to 50 likes on it.
Okay, thank you for that. This has been really helpful, and I do hope that many of the folks that are benefiting from this will go in and will support you. I will be backing it later today. A book, it looks absolutely fantastic. And I'm always happy to have you here and sharing all of the positive things that you're doing, Josh. Thank you so much for coming.
The link is itsgotttoBemagic.com. I know we're over time, but another point is you want to go to GoDaddy.com before you do a Kickstarter and you purchase a domain name that you could tell people on podcasts and on YouTube channels such as this. You do not want to just use the link that Kickstarter gives you. So I paid $12 to get itsgotttoBemagic.com. Go to itsgotttoBemagic.com, check out my Kickstarter. I appreciate your pledge, and also just to look at it as a learning experience and pledge so that you're part of the process and you learn what it's about.
Absolutely. And check out the consulting option that's there, because that was one that I have taken advantage of with Josh, and others have as well. And having somebody with that much experience helping consult through some of this would be really helpful for anybody that's brand new to it. All right. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Josh, for joining. Thank you so much again.
April, I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Good luck, everyone.